Greetings, you bastards, and welcome to another edition of the Bastard News. At this point, I really need a jingle or something. I hopefully will have a jingle soon as this series goes on. But yeah, before this video starts, I would just like to say a massive shout out to my boy Dan J for hooking me up with a tripod, so I can now do sort of professional-esque style videos. And I've even set up one of my photography studio lights, so it looked a bit more professional. So, you know, it's all coming together slowly but surely. Now, this week, in terms of gaming news, there's not really been that much going on, but the biggest thing that has been on everyone's lips is the E3 event, which is going to be occurring in about 5 days' time, I believe. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting just to go through the most anticipated games of E3 2018 and kind of break them down in my stupid way. So let's get involved. By the way, this is the first time I've actually gone through this list. I don't know anything that's happening at E3 apart from Fallout 76 is going to have some kind of press thing going on there or something along those lines. But this is my first look into some of the games that are going to be announced at E3. So let's roll through this and see what they're going to be. Right, so from this article that I'm going to read on my phone, the first game that we have is Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch. Now, yay. Okay, to be fair, right, I've heard many good things about Animal Crossing. Like, I'm not suggesting that the game is shit, I've just not played it yet. But I know for a fact that there are a few people have played it and have never said anything bad about it. And if it is coming to Nintendo Switch, that will give me somewhat of another reason to get a Nintendo Switch, because I've been advised by quite a few people that have Switches that I should wait until more games come out for it. So hopefully, with the release of Animal Crossing and the other games that are currently out on the Switch, which is Zelda, Mario Odyssey, and a few others, this might be the push that puts me towards it, because I think Animal Crossing could be an awesome game. I mean, it's like a kind of chore simulator, I suppose you could call it, and that's pretty much like Stardew Valley is, and I love Stardew Valley. It's so good. Oh my god. I'm just thinking about it now, it's so good. But anyway, yeah, this could be another reason, this could be a reason for me to get one. So hopefully, it might be quite a decent game to get involved in. Right, next game that we have is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, I don't know anything about this, of any kind whatsoever. I didn't even realise that Toad had his own game. I didn't even realise that he was now dubbed as Captain Toad, or that he had treasure that he needed to track. So, this means nothing to me at all. So, let's move on. Oh, Crackdown 3. Now, Crackdown 3 is a game that I have been eagerly anticipating for so long now. Like, I really want it to be as the creators have said that it's going to be, which is potentially going to be revolutionary in multiplayer and single player gameplay. The level of destruction that's happening in this game, as you can see here, is just mind-blowing. And if they're able to pull it off like this, then this is going to be the next big step when it comes to gaming. So hopefully, and I know it's not going to be this good. I know it's not going to be this good, but I want it to be this good. But this always happens. Whenever I get my hopes up about a game, it always lets me down. So hopefully, Crackdown 3 at E3, they will actually be able to show us like a little bit more about this game and tell us a bit more details and actually let us know if the fucking game is going to be coming out. What do we have next on this list? Oh shit, it's Death Stranding. Oh my Christ, bruv. Now, if you're a big survival horror fan like myself, then Death Stranding is one of the games that I know you're going to be looking forward to. Now, a little bit of background history or knowledge, which I don't really know that much about. I'm just sort of paraphrasing things that I've briefly read on the internet. So Hideo Kojima was in the process of making a game called Silent Hills, and if you remember, there was a demo released of it called the PT demo on PS4, which was possibly the scariest thing I've ever played, and it was so good, and I was really looking forward to Silent Hills coming out. But Hideo Kojima had somewhat of a falling out with whoever, I think it was Konami or whoever the company that he was working for. So they had a falling out, he left, and the Silent Hills just stopped. Like, the whole process of the game was just stopped dead in the water. But he then came out a little while ago with some trailers for Death Stranding, which were possibly the most confusing things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was like they took all of the most confusing aspects from the Metal Gear Solid games and then threw them into this horrifically brutal environment, which is something that it could, well, I say could, it's going to be like amazing. It's going to be the best thing ever. I know it is. Okay, so what do we have next? We have a Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, Final Fantasy is a series of games that I've never had any interest in whatsoever. A lot of people that I know have always said that if you are going to get involved in the Final Fantasy series, then 7 is the best one. The thing is that when it was on the PS1, I mean, obviously gaming back then was a lot more simpler, but so many people were saying that Final Fantasy VII was like the best game at the time, but I was never interested in it, ever. And if they're now saying that they're going to make a remake of it, and if Final Fantasy VII is the one game in the Final Fantasy series that you have to play, this could be my foot in the door for actually having an appreciation for the Final Fantasy series. But again, I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for this game to come out. The next one that we have is Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, this one. I can't say it. This is the real problem that I have with being dyslexic, is that you become such an idiot when you're trying to portray yourself as a professional individual. But who am I kidding? I'm not a professional individual. But yeah, this game looks like it could be really fucking good. I have a real sort of... I'm a bit worried that it's just going to turn into a bog standard hack and slash. But the way that this game looks in terms of its graphics and whatnot, it does look like it's going to be a pretty intense game. But unfortunately, I don't know anything about it. But in the long run, we'll just have to wait and see what happens at E3. And then if it does look like it's going to be a decent game, then I may potentially get it and then could potentially make a video on it that could potentially be put on this channel. So next up we have Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know much about Kingdom Hearts. I know that Kingdom Hearts is a game that's like a fusion of Japanese characters and Disney characters, which, to be fair, is actually quite a decent concept, but never interested me in the slightest. But if you are a fan of Kingdom Hearts, then the third one is coming out apparently, so yay! Oh yes, The Last of Us Part 2. Now, if you are a dickhead and you've not played The Last of Us, then you have to go and play it. Like, it is arguably the best game that has ever existed. I mean, it's in my top 3 for one, and it is just the best game in terms of graphics, gameplay, visual effects, just everything about it. There's not one bad thing about it, and anyone that's played it has never said that it's shit. I mean, if you do think it's shit, then put a comment in the comment section below, and I would like to hear your argument as to why you think that The Last of Us is a shit game. But with Part 2 coming out, well, it's just going to be amazing. Like, it just end of. Like, there's nothing more I need to say about it. If you know about The Last of Us, you know this is going to be quality. If you don't know about The Last of Us, then get out. And what do we have here? Metro Exodus. Now, Metro Exodus, like, the Metro series is not exactly the best game in the world, but it's certainly not the worst. To be fair, I did get a lot of enjoyment out of 2033 and Last Light. Sorry if I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone. I'm just sort of reading notes. Well, I'm not reading notes, I'm just reading the article that I found this on. Yeah, Metro Exodus looks like it's going to shape up to be a pretty decent third edition to the series. But yeah, Metro is one of those games where I would kind of recommend you buy it if you're at a loose end. So, like, say you've got a whole list of games and you've completed them all, and you don't have anything else to play, then I would say, yeah, Metro is a pretty decent game to jump in on. If you like first-person shooter games, and if you like survival horror games, it's a pretty good combo of the two. So yeah, I'd say just get it if you've got nothing else to play. Metroid Prime 4. Metroid was apparently supposed to be a pretty decent game back in the Nintendo SNES, NES 64 days. I don't know anything about Metroid. Apparently it's supposed to be pretty good. This looks like it could be alright, but at the same time, who cares? What do we have here? Pokemon for Nintendo Switch. Now, Pokemon for Nintendo Switch, apparently this game is going to be like a Pokemon RPG style game. And again, I'm not a fan of Pokemon, but back in the day when I used to have a Game Boy, I had Pokemon Red, and it actually was a pretty good game. So if they bring out a kind of RPG Pokemon-esque game for Switch, again, like I said about Animal Crossing, could be another reason for me to get a Switch. No idea. But again, not the biggest fan of Pokemon, but let's have a look and we'll wait until it comes out at E3, and then it might look alright. If it looks alright, then again, it will be just another reason for me to get a Switch. And Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that if you are involved in GTA and various other Rockstar games, then you know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is just going to be a banger. Like, it's going to be an ultimate banger. See, the thing is as well, is that I've still not seen the trailers for it. I mean, I did see the first one, sorry. I did see the first one, but the second one I've still not seen, because whenever a game comes out that I'm so looking forward to playing, I try and avoid it as best I can. I mean, with The Last of Us, I couldn't help it because I'm a fanboy. Like, I would, if The Last of Us was a woman, I would fully have sex with it. Like, it with her. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game that's obviously going to be top quality. But, yeah, I think it's safe to say that we're not going to be disappointed by Red Dead. Now, Spider-Man is another game that's coming out. I am going to be honest, I have no interest whatsoever in superheroes or anything to do with Marvel or DC, anything like that. So Spider-Man, I couldn't give a fuck about. What do we have here? Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. Alright, fair. Super Smash Bros. Back in the day was a fucking awesome game on the Nintendo 64. And yeah, if it comes out for the Switch, again, like I've said about Animal Crossing and the Pokemon game, if this comes out for the Switch, then it's just another reason for me to get a Switch. So it's actually looking like it could be quite good in terms of the Switch games, because there's quite a few that are going to be announced in between. So I'm actually quite interested to see what it looks like on the Switch. So that'll be one to keep an eye out for. And do we have any more? No, it seems like that's the end of the list. Right, so altogether, it would seem that E3 is going to be pretty interesting in terms of the games that they've put in this list. But, I mean, it's pretty safe to say that there's going to be some surprise, you know, announcements and things like that. There's always like one or two. I wouldn't hold our breath about anything that's going to be too interesting. I mean, there were some rumours that they were going to bring out a new Halo and potentially a new Gears of War. So yeah, it's not exactly something to hold your breath about, but it could be interesting nonetheless. So yeah, that is the end of this little video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed my stupid comments about the games that are going to be announced. But yeah, thanks very much for watching the video, guys. Take care, and I will see you at a later date. Peace!